Good evening. The big debate on Right Reply tonight is about one of TV's most popular shows. In the studio later, we'll be asking what on earth is going on at Crossroads. These three viewers say their favourite characters are being killed off, and even the motel itself may be threatened by this man, William Smethurst, the new producer who will be accused of destroying all they like best about the old Crossroads.
I really must protest most strongly about Crossroads. I've followed it since it started and enjoyed it. For the last few months it's gone down, and now it's reached rock bottom. That dreadful Tommy Lancaster. His grating voice jars on me. His manners are appalling. Send him back to that Red Ox or whatever. He thinks he's a comedian. Just get rid of him. Then that appalling family, appearing out of nowhere at the shop, always arguing and quarrelling. And certainly nothing flows. We get a short clip of Crossroads, there's no story, then that family, then back to Crossroads. It's dull, it's boring, and it's rubbish.
A lot of the critics think that the Grace family mentioned there are really common and lower the tone of Crossroads, which had got quite classy.
What I want to know is, how did the people who were here before you manage?
Yeah, the last bloke went bust. Must have had Ranjit advising him.
He left some very strange videos behind. I didn't think much of that one Jason was watching on Friday. It looked like a video nasty.
It wasn't a video nasty. It was a science fiction film about teenage mutant turtles. It was brilliant.
It's not what I call science fiction.
It's better than your sloppy Barbara Streisand.
Jason thinks he's a mutant turtle. That's probably right.
I have been an avid viewer of Crossroads for over 2 years now. But ever since William Smethurst took over as producer, I have watched it go steadily downhill. The mass sacking of cast members has left me dismayed and appalled. It seems that every week, one well-loved character is leaving. As for the new characters, I can only think of one word to describe them: awful. Particularly the dreadful Grice family, and as for Charlie Mycroft, his annoying childish qualities succeed in giving him a complete lack of credibility. But what really annoys me is the apparent lack of any real storyline lately. Whatever happened to the cliffhanger ending? It seems that most episodes these days just drift to an end, as if the only reason for it was that the time had ran out. And as for the new emphasis in comedy, I can only say that William Smethurst has succeeded in making Crossroads even more of a joke than it has been thought of by some before.
Well, Tommy Lancaster and his daughter Debbie are planning to take Crossroads apart, and even he hints change its name.
Mum did say the bar was vulgar.
All those silly little racing cars driving me up the wall.
Oh.
We need a new theme entirely.
Do you have to have a theme?
Well, of course you do, love. King's Oak.
If I were you, I'd concentrate on getting the staff sorted out. Wallpaper's the least of your worries from what I hear.
You're right there. I'll tell you one thing, though.
What's that?
You'll never recognise this place by the time I've finished with it.
The real architect of change is, of course, William Smethurst, the producer of Crossroads, now on the line to reply to his critics. Joyce Shipcutt from Chelmsford in Essex, Keane King from Tottenham in North London, and Hazel McManus from Rhyl in North Wales. Hazel, now's your chance to speak for thousands of viewers who've contacted us and tell William where you think he's going wrong.
Well, the last remark there made by that abominable bomber when he said, I'm going to change Crossroads, well, it's too late. It's already been done by you, Bill Smethurst. And I'm quite sure, along with myself, there must be so many angry people because you've taken all the merit out of what was once granted an innocuous but very pleasant show. And I feel that really your first priority should be your viewers. And your second priority, incidentally, should be research with your script writers, because you're making one or two little bloomers, you know.
Well, let's find out what William's priority is then.
Yeah, well, our priority is to the viewers. It's got to be to the viewers. That's what we're here for. And the viewing figures, of course, are going up, not down. So the viewers actually like it more than they did before. The number of people watching Crossroads now is higher than it was at the beginning of the year. Well,
Keane, I don't think, likes it more than she did before. What do you think's wrong with it, Keane?
Well, I think it's getting more like EastEnders now, because it's all becoming working class, which doesn't fit in with the motel's image. It's supposed to be like more middle class. And I think you should, if you wanted to change Crossroads that much, why didn't you have the guts, you know, to start a new show, and it can be based in the hotel trade, but it can be more of a sort of bed and breakfast, which is what Crossroads is getting like now, because...
Well, yeah, well, nobody offered me a new show to do, actually. They only offered me Crossroads. You say it's getting more working class. I don't know. And does it matter if it is, really?
Yeah, well, you see, the image that motel portrayed before you came was, you know, all middle class. But just as you came, it's becoming like EastEnders in a motel.
I wouldn't mind EastEnders viewing figures, I must say. If I was going down that path, I'd be quite happy.
Well, I suppose because we're Southerners, so-called, we can't understand the accents. I mean, why have you had to bring in all these people, as they say, the Grices, with their Wolverhampton accents, and they're just so improbable. And Mrs. Tardybig, I mean, we can't understand a word she says.
Well, that's very unfortunate, but there are millions of people in the Midlands who can understand them. And there we are. It's time they had a programme, isn't it?
Yes, but Mrs. Tardybig particularly looks like a lady from the pantomime, doesn't she?
Well, yes, I don't want to get too deep into Mrs. Tardybig's wig, which was possibly a great mistake in the first place to give her the wig which she has at the moment. When you're talking about accents, EastEnders has got the accents of the East End of London, and people accept it. Coronation Street has got the accents of Lancashire. Emmerdale Farm has got the accents of Yorkshire. What on earth is wrong with the Midlands?
You're from Wales, Hazel.
Yes, I was just going to say, are you perhaps catering only then for the people of Birmingham?
No, I'm not.
I actually think you do them a great disservice.
No, I'm saying that if EastEnders with the accents of London can appeal to the whole nation, and if the Lancashire accent can appeal to the whole nation, there's nothing wrong with the Midlands.
No.
The new actor who's come in, you know, playing Bomber Lancaster, he's a wonderful actor in the theatre. Do you think he's not right for the soap?
Well, I don't think any of these people that have come in are getting scripts that are worthy of their talents.
Joy, you didn't think Terence was right, Terence Rigby was right either for the show?
No. I like him in other things. I've liked him a lot. I've always admired him. But I think he's gone over the top with this. He isn't realistic, and his daughter as well, she wouldn't be his right-hand man because she seems so dim, doesn't she?
Oh, I don't think so.
I find Tommy Lancaster's accent really difficult to understand, so sometimes I have to tape Crossroads and then rerun it on the video.
Do you go to all that trouble?
Well, I want to follow the story, right? Even though it's beginning to get now like a bit like a children's comedy without Mr. Darby rushing after Mrs. Freeman. I think it should be on children's ITV instead.
The same with Benny, you see. You've made him much, much more stupid, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, look at that meal he cooked at Christmas for Diane when she was ill. It was all charred and burnt. Well, how's he managed to live all these years and feed himself if he...
Goodness knows. When I first started watching Crossroads a year ago, first started watching seriously, I might say, because, of course, I had watched it on and off for a long time, he couldn't answer the telephone in the first episode. I watched he picked up a telephone and didn't know how to say a word into it. And that was a year ago, a long time before I took over. I've not changed the character of Benny one iota.
Well, he just appears to me to be more and more stupid every time we see him.
No, he's less stupid than he was.
He's very lovable. I like him,
but taking up on the point that Keane made there, Hazel, that it's become a bit of a situation comedy rather than a drama serial.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that there are a few doppelgangers in it at the moment from Coronation Street. You know, you've got Ray Grice, who to me is a down-market Jack Duckworth. And then you've got the dreadful Daniel, who is an upmarket Terry Duckworth. You've got Charlie Mycroft. Well, to me, he's Mavis Riley on a good day. You know, and you can link them up. There is nothing really new.
But your extra views, as you claim that you're getting, that could be from newspapers publishing so much about the changes in Crossroads. People not really interested in the show, just you know, want to see for themselves what's going on. They're not really, you know, watching the show because they like it.
Well, do keep watching. I assure you, you will like it.
Last word from you, Joy.
Are we going to have any of the originals left, or are they all going?
Oh, no. There's an awful lot staying. You mustn't believe what you read in the newspapers.
Couldn't we get on with it and get it changed over quickly? Because every week we keep waiting for the changes, and that's 3 or 4 weeks now, and nothing's really happening, is it?
Thank you, 3 Crossroads fans, and thank you too, William, for allowing yourself to be put in the line like that.